Live from Rapid City, Post 22 Baseball is on the air. The finale of yet another busy weekend for the Hardhats is this afternoon as Post 22 finishes up their three-game series against the visiting Dickinson Roughriders. With that being said, we say good afternoon and we welcome you inside our press box here at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium. This is Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Last night, the Hardhats went in their second doubleheader of the weekend, and they took the sweep once again. But it was once again a tale of two completely different stories for Post 22. They took a 10-0, 10-run rule win in 5 innings in Game 1 against Dickinson, but then only won 8-5 in Game 2 behind 8 hits, only 3 errors in the field, though. So things were a little hectic for the Hardhats at one point, considering that 4th inning was a monster inning for both squads. The Hardhats had mistakes that were compounded and piled on top of. They were down 5-0 at one point, but rallied for 6 runs in the bottom half of that inning, and then ultimately took the win 8-5 in 6.5 innings of regulation. Now they conclude their series against the Central Plains regional hosts and look forward to claiming another sweep of this series and going 5 in a row since suffering their loss Wednesday night to the Miles City Outlaws out of Montana. Both of our umpires are heading down to field level, so let's go ahead and take that as a cue to give you the starting lineups for today's matchup between Dickinson and Post 22. The Roughriders once again will bat in the top halves of our 7 innings of regulation. Leading off for Dickinson is number 7, Joey Pavick. This time he will be the backstopper and catcher. Batting second is number 10, Isaac Gertie. He's patrolling left field. Batting third is number 19, Sam England. He's in the hot corner at third base. And in the cleanup position is number 20, Jared Huglin. He's out at first base. Batting fifth is number 9, Justin Berger. He'll be the starting pitcher today for Dickinson. Batting sixth is number 1, Colton Jones. He's patrolling center field. Batting seventh for the for the Roughriders is number 5, Landon Amon. Batting eighth is number 2, Kobe Krenz. He is playing at second base, and rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot is number 13, Logan Hoff, and he's patrolling right field. On the mound again is number 9, Justin Berger, and he'll take on the Hardhats as follows here in the bottom halves of our 7 innings of regulation. Leading off for the Hardhats is number 12, Mason Messenger. He is playing second base. Batting second is number 21, Matt Hegry. He's in the hot corner at third. Batting third for the Hardhats is number 22, Cooper Bowman. He's out at shortstop. In the cleanup position is number 23, Jack Sorensen, and today he will serve as the designated hitter. Batting fifth is number 30, Jace Caldwell, reinserted back into the lineup. He's taking over at first base. Batting sixth is number 15, Zach Sumption. He's patrolling right field. Batting seventh is number 18, Alex Weaver. He is patrolling left field. Batting eighth is number 20, Holden Jackson. He's patrolling right field. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot for the Hardhats is number 17, Todd Stevens. He's the backstopper and catcher. On the mound for Post 22 today is the lefty, Zach Cholis, who has only started this year. He is 1-1 through 4 starts prior to this matchup. This will be his 5th appearance and start of the season. He has 13 innings of work under his belt, and he has greatly improved in the area of controlling his pitches. 21 strikeouts to 10 walks on the season, a 2.15 ERA. He's only allowed 5 hits on the season in his 13 innings of work through 4 starts. He's also allowed only 4 runs, all of which are earned. Zach Cholis has been playing some fantastic baseball for the Hardhats as of recently when his number has been called upon. And the last time Cholis saw the mound was against Miles City. That was a tough matchup back and forth for the Hardhats, who let 5 errors pile up, and they were unfortunately unable to come out with the victory against Miles City Outlaws. It stopped a 7-game winning streak and 7 games in a row in which the team had scored 10 runs or more on 10 hits or more. And in 6 of those 7 invoked the 10-run rule. They were also batting very well as well in that stretch. Cholis in that last start pitched 3 innings and struck out 5, but also walked 3 on 64 pitches, allowing 2 runs on 2 hits. And then Branson Keel and Jack Sorensen came in relief, and the Hardhats were unable to overtake Miles City. Again, in a 3-hour and 5-minute baseball game, errors just piled up against Post 22. We have both of our managers meeting currently at home plate, exchanging their lineup cards and getting ready to rock and roll for this start. It is an absolutely gorgeous day out, 84 degrees. Not necessarily blue skies. They're light blue skies. There is some cloud cover. The sun is shining, though, and it is hot. This is great baseball weather. Hardhats come into this 25th matchup of the season with a 20-4 record, identical 10-4 records on either side of the ball. Folks, we're going to take a step aside. When we come back, we will have first pitch between Dickinson and Post 22, getting set to conclude this 5-game in 3-day set of games for Hardhats. Stick around, folks. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. We are all set now for first pitch of today's 5-game in 3-day weekend finale. And it features a third consecutive matchup between the Post 22 Hardhats and the visiting Dickinson Roughriders. Folks, thanks again so much for joining us this afternoon for ESPN Rapid City Post 22 Hardhats Baseball. This is Mark Benetti alongside you on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, broadcasting live from Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium and sitting in the corner of my former broadcast partner, Tom Rudebush, aptly named Rudy's Corner. Zach Cholos, the lefty, is on the mound, and he is set to take on the Dickinson Roughriders batting order, which starts off with the top three of Joey Pavick, the catcher, Isaac Gertie, the left fielder, and Sam England, the third baseman. Cholas has been fantastic for the Hardhats this season, a 1-1 record in 4 starts prior to today's appearance. This is his 5th appearance, and all of them are by virtue of a start. He has 13 innings of work under his belt with a 2.15 ERA, 21 strikeouts to 10 walks on the season, also 3 hit batsmen. He's allowed 5 hits in his 13 innings and 4 runs as well, all of which are earned. Cholas, the biggest part of his game that has improved this season is his control. He played himself into the lineup last year, into the postseason, and he was sensational for the Hardhats. He came in a very tough bind when they needed that last person to submit the postseason roster, and he made the cut. He played himself into the lineup, and that takes a lot of guts for somebody that was as young as he was coming into varsity baseball at this level with the Hardhats, but he was able to pull it off. You take a look at the last 2 starts that Cholas has had. He's at 12 strikeouts to 6 walks. That's a great 2-to-1 ratio on free passes and strikeouts. And now he is done taking his warm-up pitches, and the infield of the Hardhats comes in to knock their Hardhats together one final time before they do battle against Dickinson. The defensive alignment for the Hardhats has Cholas and his left arm on the mound, paired up with his battery mate and catcher, Todd Stevens. At first is Jace Caldwell back in the lineup. Second is Mason Messenger. Shortstop's Cooper Bowman. And in the hot corner at third is Matt Heggery. Left to right in the outfield, Alex Weaver, Zach Sumption, and Holden Jackson. Cholas will take on Joey Pavic, Isaac Gertie, and Sam England in that order to start off this top half of the first inning. It's a fairly windy day here today, but again, 84 degrees, sun shining, not too many clouds in the sky. Once again, a beautiful day for baseball. Cholas a full windup, and his first pitch is a called strike. And we officially begin this game at 1:02. On this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Yogi Milslegel calling the balls and strikes behind the plate. John Windcraft is in the field, and the next pitch is a check swing. And Pavic went 0-2 the count now to Pavic, as Cholas is looking for that first strikeout of this start on his first batter faced. Full windup for Cholas. 0-2 pitch. Just missed. A nice breaking ball from Cholas, and it's now a ball and 2 strikes. Pavic in Game 2 yesterday went 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a pair of singles, a run scored, and a walk. In Game 1, he went 0 for 2, and his next pitch is chopped foul. And the count will hold at a ball and 2 strikes now from Cholas to Pavic. Just started the ball game a minute ago. 1-2 pitch. Caught him looking, strike 3. The ball skips away from Stevens. He fields it, and his throw to first is not in time, I believe. And that is the signal, as getting in the way of the catch was Pavic, but that did not go the way of the Hardhats, so that will be an error on the strikeout to let Pavic take first base. So Cholas with a strikeout, but also an error charged to the Hardhats there. And that'll now bring us to Isaac Gertie. So that's a rough break for the Hardhats here. So now Cholas pitching from the stretch, and his first pitch skips low for ball 1. Stevens a check to first, isn't there in time. And Caldwell's sure to get the catch at first. 1-0 now to Gertie. Isaac Gertie went 1 for 3 with a walk, a run scored last night in Game 2. And his next pitch misses low, 2 balls, no strikes. In Game 1, he was the starting pitcher, and he went 0 for 1 with a backwards K. 2-0 now the count to Gertie with a man on first, no one out. Check to first, and back safely is Pavic. 2 balls, no strikes the count. Cholas takes his time from the stretch. 2-0 misses low, and off at first against Pavic, but he's back safely. 3 balls, no strikes the count to Gertie here. And you'd hate to see Cholas start to break down here because he had a great first at-bat. He had no help, though, in registering that out. Again, strike 3 was dropped. Stevens a little nonchalant getting the ball behind home plate. And then the throw was a tad bit off track. And Pavic was safe. 3-0 pitch. That's up high, ball 4. The ball once again gets away from Stevens, but only 1 base will be taken by everybody. So a tough break here for the Hardhats now. No one out, men on first and second. That's going to bring us to Sam England, the third baseman. England came in to pitch in relief in Game 2 last night. He went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts and an RBI hit by pitch with the bases loaded. In Game 1, he went 1 for 2. So he is 1 for 5 in this series. And everybody going, first pitch is foul. 0-1. Going from second was Pavic, excuse me. Hardhats were trying to defend that bunt as well, so Bowman came over to cover third. Hegre came in crashing from third. No balls in to strike the count, and the pitch swung on, balls hit high in the air, left center field. Sumption comes in charging from center, and making the catch from left is Weaver. And that is out number 1. And a big first out at that. The ball was shallow enough that nobody was going to tag up and go for the next base. So well-executed defense there from the Hardhats. 1 down, still men on first and second. That's going to bring us to Jaron Hughlin, the cleanup hitter and first baseman. Hughlin started Game 2 last night. Threw 99 pitches in 4 1/3 innings. Struck out 6 and walked 4. Cholis, here's his first pitch. Called strike. Breaking ball inside. It's 0-1. Hughlin at the plate yesterday. Went 0 for 4, struck out twice, reached on a strikeout though once. His next pitch is swung on, chopped to third. Hegre the stop, to second for 1, to first for 2. Got it, and that's going to end it. 5-4-3 double play ends the top half of the first inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error charged to the Hardhats. And at the end of a half an inning of baseball, post 22, and the Dickinson Roughriders are scoreless, and the Hardhats will take their first at-bats of the day. We'll take a quick step aside, and when we come back, Mason Messenger leads the charge for the Hardhats. We'll be back with his at-bat and more here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. The Hardhats now transition from defense to offense for the first time this afternoon. Mason Messenger, Matt Hegre, and Cooper Bowman will be the first 3 to go up against starting pitcher Justin Berger of the Dickinson Roughriders. Berger, a right-handed pitcher, came in last night to play right field in Game 2, and that's all he did. Berger at the plate ended up going 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a walk, and a run scored. And now his right arm is called upon to pitch for the Roughriders. Defensive alignment for the Roughriders has Berger and his right arm on the mound, paired up with the catcher Joey Pavic. At first is Jaron Hughlin. At second is Colby Krenz. At shortstop, Landon Amon. And in the hot corner at third is Sam England. Left to right in the outfield, Isaac Gertie, Colton Jones, and Logan Hoff. Hardhats got out of the first inning unscathed. And left a man on in scoring position to keep this a scoreless deadlock. Mason Messenger, the first one up for post 22. Right-handed batter, steps in, batting .263 on the season coming into this matchup. 10 for 38. All 10 of his hits are singles. 10 for 38 and 53 plate appearances. First pitch is outside, ball 1. Messenger on the season's only struck out 4 times. He has walked a dozen. He's also reached on an error and been hit by a pitch. 1-0 pitch. Called strike on a check swing. And it's 1-1 now to Messenger. Messenger, Hegre, and Bowman. The infield, second, third, and short respectively, due up. 1-1 pitch swung on, ball's hit to second. Kobe Krenz gets the stop between his legs, and the throw to first is in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Hard Hats here on offense, and that brings us to Matt Hegre. Hegre batting .288 on the season, 21 for 73 in 92 plate appearances. He struck out 18 times, and he's walked 14. His strikeouts have been down as of recently, though. And his first pitch is high and away for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Matt Hegre. Base path empty for the Hard Hats third baseman with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Still scoreless. Next pitch swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to left center field. That ball has some legs on it, and it is caught on the run by Colton Jones. And that is out number 2. Colton Jones had to cover a ton of ground. And that was a great play from him for out number 2 here in the bottom half of the first. So the Hard Hats go 2 up, 2 down, and now Cooper Bowman will take over. Bowman, statistical leader in virtually every offensive category. .452 batting average, 38 hits on the year in 84 at-bats, 102 plate appearances. And he looks at ball 1 high and inside to start off his count. Bowman also leads the team in 33 runs scored and 28 runs batted in. He struck out 8 times and walked 14. And the next pitch is a called strike on the outside corner. And it's 1-1 to Cooper Bowman. Ball and a strike the count. Cooper Bowman, 2 outs, base path empty here in a scoreless bottom of the first, and the next pitch is too far inside, and it's 2-1 now to the Hard Hat shortstop. Bowman last night in Game 2 went 1 for 1, walked 3 times, stole 2 bases, scored twice, and his next pitch is high and inside for ball 3. 3-1 the count, and his lone hit was a bunt single. In Game 1, he went 2 for 2 with a pair of singles, walk and a run scored. His 3-1 is a called strike on the outside corner at his knees. And now the count goes full to Bowman, and Justin Berger has a chance to end the inning 1-2-3 with a strikeout. His 11th pitch of the frame coming up. And here is the payoff to Bowman. Swung on, and that ball's pushed on a line drive in a right field for a base hit. Cooper Bowman gets a 2-out single opposite field. And that will bring up Jack Sorensen, the designated hitter. Sorensen on the season batting .359. He is third among qualified batters in batting average with .359. Cooper Bowman takes his lead off of first, and the first pitch to Sorensen's upstairs. 1-0. Sorensen has Bowman on first. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. We're still scoreless. No runs or hits for both sides. The Hard Hats with the only error, which we might have to have a discussion with that with our official scorer, because a valid point was brought up in discussing that sequence back in the first. Runner goes. Next pitch is a called strike to Sorensen. The throw to second's not going to get there. And so Bowman gets another stolen base. Ball and a strike now the count to Sorensen as there is a man in scoring position. And that is a great thing for Sorensen, because Sorensen is batting .355 with a runner on either second or third. Next pitch is fouled off. First base side and out of play. Now it's a ball and 2 strikes. Bowman, by the way, 18 stolen bases on the year, as the 1-2 is low and away to Sorensen. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cooper can do it all. He can field, he can hit, he can run. Most importantly, he can lead. And he's an outstanding human being, too. 2-2 pitch, swung on, ball's hit to short. Stops made by Amon, and then it's off of his paraphernalia. Sorensen safe at first. Bowman comes in to score, and the Hard Hats strike first on the E6. It's 1-0 with 2 outs and a man on first here in the bottom of the first. And the E6 allows Sorensen to reach. And it knocks in a run. So unfortunately, Sorensen doesn't get the RBI, but it still knocks in that first run. And now Caldwell's first pitch is ripped into left, and that'll drop for a base hit. Jace Caldwell back in the lineup after missing the last couple of games since Wednesday night, when he crashed into the fence playing against Miles City. So now Sorensen will advance to second. Caldwell on first with a 2-out single. That error on Landon Amon proving to be very costly right now, as not only did it knock in a run, but it's perpetuated the inning. Zach Sumption due up. His first pitch is flared into right. That's going to drop for a base hit. And everybody's going to hold on. So that's another 2-out single for the Hardhats. Sorensen stays on third. Caldwell on second. Sumption on first, and now it's bases loaded for Alex Weaver. This progressed very quickly. We've had no time to really recap much. All we know is Weaver comes in with a .275 batting average on the season. And with runners in scoring position, only batting .160. That can dramatically change here with a nice swing of the bat. Bases loaded for Weaver. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Hardhats with a 1-0 lead and a chance to blow this one open early. And the first pitch to Weaver is down for ball 1. It's 1-0. Sumption on first. Caldwell on second. Sorensen on third. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That misses low. 2 balls, no strikes. Now keep in mind, all these runs, should they come across here, are not earned because everybody reached on an error with 2 outs. That error could have ended the inning had it gone differently. 2-0 is up high, ball 3. And now Justin Berger has some trouble as there is a check down to third. That goes awry, and a run's going to score. And that'll be the second error of the inning for the Roughriders, and now it's 2-0 Hardhats. So now it's 2 men in scoring position with a 3-0 count here to Sumption. And that's a called strike, or excuse me, to Weaver. That's a called strike at his belt. 3-1 now the count. Assumption's on second. Caldwell's on third. And it's a 2-0 Hardhats lead on 3 hits and 2 errors. And the 3-1 is swung on and missed on an off-speed pitch. It's full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes now to Weaver. Berger looking to get out of this jam from the stretch. Payoff pitch, swung on, ball's lined in the air to center field, and Jones makes the catch on the run to end the inning. Well, the Hardhats deals some damage. 2 runs on 3 hits with 2 errors charged to the Roughriders. 2 men left on base in scoring position. We have played 1 inning of baseball, and the Hardhats strike early. They have a 2-0 advantage under their belt. We'll take a step aside, and when we come back with the top of the second, the pitcher himself for the Roughriders, Justin Berger, will lead off here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Post 22, thanks to some timely hitting and a couple of errors to help them out, currently holds on to a 2-0 lead after 1 frame over the Dickinson Roughriders. Numbers across the board through 1 for the Hardhats. It's 2 runs on 3 hits with an error. And for the Roughriders, it's no runs on no hits and 2 errors in the field. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. The pitchers will square off to start off the top of the second with the righty Justin Berger looking into Hardhats lefty Zach Cholis. First pitch of the top of the second is a called strike at the knees of Berger. It's 0-1. Berger played right field last night in Game 2, and he went 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a walk, and a run scored. 0-1 pitch, called strike at the exact same spot, a fastball at his knees, and quickly Berger's behind his pitching counterpart, 0-2. Cholis looking for his second strikeout, and his first that actually is an out. 0-2 pitch, caught him looking, strike 3. Strikeout number 2 for Cholis. 3 pitches, not a single one of them swung at. And that'll bring us now to Colton Jones, the center fielder. Colton Jones played center field in Game 2 yesterday. Went 0 for 2 with a sac bunt, a walk, and a strikeout. And in game 1, played left field, and he went 1 for 1 with a single. His first pitch breaks too far inside. It's 1-0. Cholos had the right idea on that, trying to get that inside corner, but it broke in too much. 1-0 is inside again, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes to Colton Jones with the base path empty and 1 out here in the top of the second. Hardhats trying to protect a 2-0 lead. 2-0 pitch is a ball. 3-0. Todd Stevens having some trouble right now snaring that ball behind home plate. He is not the everyday catcher. That is Ryan Schmidt's role. But Stevens still has to be ready nonetheless. 3-0 pitch, called strike at the knees of Jones, and now it's 3-1. 3 balls and a strike the count here to Jones with the base path empty and 1 out top of the second. 3-1 pitch is upstairs for ball 4, and that'll be the second walk issued by Cholos. So a 1 out walk. Jones is on first, and that'll bring us to Landon Amon, the shortstop. Amon did not play in game 2 last night. He played in game 1 and went 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Cholos, first pitch. Called, strike at his knees. Fastball, it's 0-1. Jones takes his lead off of first. Hardhats have already turned an inning-ending double play in this game. We're in the top of the second, and they're protecting a 2-0 lead. Cholos will look to first. 0-1 pitch. Bunt is showed. It's crossed at. And the check to first not there in time. Amon behind 0-2 now. He tried fishing for that one. And now Cholos is a pitch away from his 3rd strikeout and his 2nd of the inning. No balls, 2 strikes the count. Cholos, a check to first, is not there in time. Oh, so close, and Jace Caldwell can't believe it. But he pointed right to Cholos and said, okay, let's do that again, but get the out this time. That was a fantastic pickoff to first. And Cholos, as the lefty, has the advantage. He's staring right at first base. 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball just missed low and away, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. One and 2. 1 out and a man on first. Cholos looking for that 3rd strikeout. 1-2 pitch. High and inside, 2-2. Another fastball from Cholos. His velocity looks great as well. Still in the early stages of this start. 2-2. Cholos checks to first. And deals to Amon. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That's the 3rd K for Cholos. 2 down with a man on first. Now brings us Jacoby Krenz, the 2nd baseman. Krenz did not play in game 2. He played in game 1 and went 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. Cholos checks first. First pitch, called strike right at his belt. Nice fastball. It's 0-1 to Krenz. Logan Hoff, the right fielder, on deck. He has not seen any action this weekend. So this will be his first action against Post 22. Check to first. And they got him! What a pickoff by Cholos to Caldwell. Colton Jones picked off. Jacoby Krenz had his at-bat interrupted. He will lead off the top of the 3rd. We have finished the top of the 2nd. No runs, no hits, no errors, and thanks to the pickoff, no one left on base. 1.5 innings of baseball in the books. Post 22 has protected its 2-0 lead. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the 2nd. And Holden Jackson will lead off for the Hardhats here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Holden Jackson steps in to lead off against the Dickinson Roughriders here in the bottom half of the second inning. Post 22 has a 2-0 lead through an inning and a half and looks to build upon that here in the bottom of the second. Justin Berger back on the mound after 24 pitches in the first inning. Deals a first pitch ball up high to Jackson. 1-0 the count to Holden Jackson. And his 1-0 misses low and away, 2-0. Jackson batting .391 on the season, and it's not often that he hits. This is only the 11th game in which he's taken swings. 9 for 23 on the year with 7 singles, a double, and a triple. His 2-0 pitch is upstairs. 3-0 now to Jackson, who has not struck out all season. He has walked 3 times, though. Pitch away from a 4-3 pass. 3-0 pitch is a called strike right at his belt. 3-1. Holden Jackson thought that was ball 4, but Yogi Milslegel behind the plate had a different opinion. 3-1 the count. And Berger deals. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to the left side. Coming in from left, underneath it to make the catch. In shallow left is Isaac Gertie, and that'll be out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats, and that'll now bring us to Todd Stevens, the catcher. Stevens also has not had many looks this season, but he is batting .300 in the 6 games in which he's played. Batting 3 for 10 with 3 singles. He also has 2 runs knocked in and 4 runs scored. 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. First pitch from Berger to Stevens. Misses low and away. It's ball 1. After Stevens will go to the top of the order to Mason Messenger, who's 0 for 1. 1 out, base path empty for Stevens. 1-0 pitch. Misses low. It's 2-0. We got a chance to watch Todd Stevens in his first game as a Hardhat last year hit his first home run. And that was a grand slam over the left field wall. Here comes the 2-0. Breaking ball way up high. 3-0 now to Stevens. Three balls, no strikes. And here is the 3-0. Called strike. Fastball outside corner. It's 3-1. Three and 1 to Stevens with the base path empty and 1 out. And the next pitch is ripped fair down the line. It's a base hit. Stevens rounds first, and he is going for 2. And the throw to the cutoff is all we'll get. A 1-out double for Todd Stevens. His first extra base hit of the year. And now back to the top of the order we go to Mason Messenger with a runner in scoring position. Messenger with a man in scoring position bats .250 on the year. And again came into this game batting .263. He's 0 for 1 on the ball game. With a ground out to second. Justin Berger from the stretch looks to Stevens at second, and the first pitch skips away from the catcher and Pavic. And advancing to third is Stevens. The pass ball puts Stevens on third. 1-0 count here to Messenger. Another chance for the Hardhats to add a run. 1 out, and a man 90 feet to the left of Messenger. And the next pitch is a called strike. Outside corner, 1-1. Both catchers are having trouble hanging on to some of those pitches that come in, whether they're called strike or not. It just hits their glove and either dies or it skips off their paraphernalia. Here's the 1-1 to Messenger. Swung on, hit to third. Stops made by England. He checks Stevens. Throw to first is in time for the out. That was a nice play by England to hold Stevens at third. So now Matt Hegre comes up, 0 for 1, with 2 outs and a man 90 feet to his left and a chance to try and knock him in. Hegre flew out to center field in his first at-bat, back in the bottom of the first. And his first pitch is upstairs, 1-0. Justin Berger threw 24 pitches in the first inning. He's working on number 15 now in the second. 1-0 pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air to center field. Colton Jones backtracks, makes the catch, and he will end the threat to end the bottom half of the second. No runs on a hit. That was Todd Stevens' double. No errors charged to the Roughriders, and one man left on the base path, 90 feet from adding a third run for the Hardhats. We have played 2 innings of baseball. Post 22 still has their 2-0 lead over the Dickinson Roughriders. We will take a step aside, and when we come back, it's the top of the third. Colby Krenz had an at-bat interrupted in the top half of the second. He will lead off this top half of the third for the Roughriders in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Two innings have been played here at the Fitz on this Sunday afternoon to finish off this 3-game series between the Dickinson Roughriders and the Post 22 Hardhats. Colby Krenz had an at-bat interrupted in the top half of the second, so he will lead the top of the third. And he looks at a first pitch ball for ball 1. He was in an 0-1 count against Cholas when Colton Jones was picked off at first. Next pitch, swung on and missed. And Krenz is behind even at 1-1. It'll be 8-9-1. Krenz the second baseman, Hoff the right fielder, back to the top to Pavic the catcher. 1-1 pitch. Misses low, it's 2-1. Through 2 innings of play, Post 22 has 2 runs on 4 hits with an error. And Dickinson has no runs, no hits, 2 errors. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. 2-1 to Krenz is swung on and missed. Fastball up high and outside, it's 2-2. Cholas is now looking for strikeout number 4. It'll only be his third, though, that actually registers an out. 2-2 pitch. Just missed outside, and the count goes full. Wasn't a bad 2-2 pitch there from Cholas because, you know, Krenz might be in a protection mode. He probably offered that, but he didn't. Here comes the payoff pitch from Cholas to Krenz. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And there is K number 4 for Zach Cholas. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on defense to start off the top of the third. And now Logan Hoff comes in for his first action of the entire weekend for the Roughriders. Hoff, a right-handed batter, steps in playing right field for Dickinson. And his first pitch is upstairs for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Hoff. Here comes the 1-0. Called strike, a fastball in the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Zach Cholas, 4 strikeouts to 2 walks on the afternoon so far. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. 1-2 now to Logan Hoff. Cholas looking for K number 5. 1-2 to Hoff. Swung on, ball's pushed to the right side of the infield. Caldwell gets the stop, says, "I've got it, guys," and tags the bag for out number 2. 3 unassisted in the book. 2 up, 2 down, and now that brings us back to the top of the order to the catcher, Joey Pavic, who reached on an error to start off this entire ballgame. It was a strikeout, but a drop third strike, and Stevens had a throw that was off track. And that allowed Pavic to take first safely. First pitch, swung on, ball's fouled. 0-1 the count. If Pavic's retired, Bowman, Sorensen, and Caldwell are slated to hit in that order in the bottom half of this third inning. Hardhats have a 2-0 lead over the Roughriders, looking to keep it that way. And the 0-1's a breaking ball way outside. 1-1 now to Pavic. Zach Cholas dialed in. Second matchup against Pavic. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and foul tipped into the glove. Strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Pavic as Cholas is a pitch away from his 5th K. And the 1-2 pitch misses low. 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes to Zach Cholas. Excuse me, from Zach Cholas to Joey Pavic. And here is the 2-2. Swung on, ball is pushed to first base side. And out of play. 2-2. And here is the 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that will end the top half of the third. 1-2-3 fashion for the Hardhats. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base for Dickinson. We've played 2.5 innings of baseball, and the Hardhats still have their 2-0 lead intact from the bottom half of the first inning. We'll go to the bottom half of the third with Cooper Bowman, Jack Sorensen, and Jace Caldwell scheduled to hit. I'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. No disasters to clean up right here for the Hardhats as they head to the bottom half of the third inning in the driver's seat with a 2-0 lead over the Dickinson Roughriders. Numbers across the board through 2.5. For Post 22, it's 2 runs on 4 hits with 1 blemish in the field. And for the Roughriders, it's no runs on no hits and 2 errors defensively. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. And it looks like we have a change on the mound as Nathaniel Gillick has come in to pitch for Justin Berger. So Nathaniel Gillick comes in to face Bowman, Sorensen, and Caldwell. Berger only went 2 innings, and he allowed 2 runs, only one of which was earned. He did not strike out anyone, nor did he issue a walk. And he did it all on 39 pitches. He also allowed 4 hits. So Gillick now takes over, and his first pitch will come against Cooper Bowman, and it's upstairs for ball 1. Cooper Bowman's 1 for 1. He singled and came around to score the first of 2 Hardhats runs. Here comes the 1-0 to the Hardhat shortstop. That's a called strike at his knees. 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike to count here to Cooper Bowman, followed by Sorensen and Caldwell in that order. Next pitch, too far inside, almost clipped his jersey. 2-1. Bowman again the leader in just about every stat category offensively. .452 batting average leads the way, and he looks at ball 3 up high. 3-1 now to Cooper Bowman to lead off the bottom of the third. Hardhats with a 2-0 lead. And the 3-1 hits him. Ball 4. Well, it hit him either way. He's still on, so it's a leadoff hit by pitch. It would have been a walk either way, so 6 1/2 dozen the other there. And that brings up Jack Sorensen, the designated hitter. Sorensen reached on a crucial error and then scored on another one. Sorensen steps in. He also scored a run. He's the second of 2 Hardhats runs on the afternoon. Gillick from the stretch. Runner goes. First pitch. It's a called strike, and we won't get a throw. Pavic hangs onto the ball. No balls at a strike to count to Sorensen. And Sorensen's 0-1 pitch is low and away, and Bowman's going to take third as it skips away from Pavic. That went off of his paraphernalia. That'll be a pass ball, and it's 1-1. So now a third run for the Hardhats, and a second one for Bowman on the afternoon. It's 90 feet away from scoring. 1-1 pitch to Sorensen. Upstairs, 2-1. Sorensen again with runners in scoring position, batting .355 on the year. 2-1, too far inside, it's 3-1. 3-1 the count here to Sorensen. On the season, has walked 10 times, he's only struck out 6. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's pushed high in the air to right field. Charging is Hoff, and Hoff makes the catch while diving. And coming in to score is Cooper Bowman. Bowman tagged up. That'll be a sac fly RBI. And the Hardhats now have a 3-0 lead with 1 out and an empty base path here in the bottom of the third. Chase Caldwell now comes up. 1 for 1 with a single in his first game back. And his first pitch is turned high in the air to left center field. That ball has some legs, it has some distance, and it's going to go off the wall. Caldwell rounds first as he is into second with a 1-out double. And the Hardhats train keeps rolling here with 1 out. There's a man in scoring position, and that'll bring us to Zach Sumption. How about this for Jace Caldwell? His first game back, he has seen 2 pitches, and he has taken both for base hits. Zach Sumption now comes up. He also took his first pitch for a single. Nathaniel Gillick on the mound in relief, running into some trouble here. First pitch is over the head of Sumption, 1-0. Caldwell had a minor lower body injury that he suffered Wednesday against the Miles City Outlaws. He toughed it out the rest of the game, but they sat him out the last 2, just precautionary. 1-0, almost hits Sumption inside, it's 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes now to Zach Sumption. Alex Weaver in the on-deck circle. 1 out and a man on second here in the bottom of the third. Gillick's next pitch swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to center. Colton Jones on the run. Makes the catch going backwards. Caldwell tags up. He's got to take third. Some nice heads-up base running by Jace Caldwell as he is safe on third. 2 outs now with another run 90 feet from scoring. And that brings us to Alex Weaver, who lined out to center field with 2 men in scoring position to end the bottom of the first. He's in a similar scenario here with 1 man standing 90 feet to his left. 2 outs, bottom of the third. Hardhats now have a 3-0 lead. Gillick for the Roughriders. First pitch. Misses low. Ball 1 to Weaver. Jace Caldwell in his first game back. 2 for 2. A single and a double. Just needs a triple and a home run for the cycle this afternoon. 1-0 pitch. And that's upstairs. 2-0 now to Weaver. Caldwell is standing on third. He doubled and then advanced on the fly out to Sumption. 2 balls, no strikes to Weaver. Gillick deals. Pitch is swung on, and it's hit right over the head of Gillick. Coming in from second is Krenz, and his throw to first is in time just by a hair, and that'll end it. So the bottom of the third inning comes to an end, but the Hardhats do get a run on 1 hit with no errors charged to the Roughriders and a man left on third base. We will take a step aside here, and when we come back, it'll be the top of the 4th inning, and the Dickinson Roughriders will see Isaac Gertie lead the charge in the top of the 4th. We'll be right back in just a few moments, folks, here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Zach Cholis is back on the mound to continue his start as we now go to the top half of the 4th inning. Post 22 now in command of a 3-0 lead over the Dickinson Roughriders. Numbers across the board through 3 innings. For the Hardhats, it's 3 runs on 5 hits with 1 error on defense. And for the Roughriders, no runs on no hits with 2 errors in the field. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous Sunday afternoon as the Hardhats are playing in 86-degree weather with clear skies, the sun coming down. You can't draw up a better scene for summer baseball than this. Well, actually, you can. You can draw it up for the Firecracker Tournament. That'll start on June 29th and go all the way to the 4th. The fireworks display scheduled for June 3rd. So it's still a couple of weeks away. Cholla steals ball 1 to Isaac Gertie. He'll see Gertie, England, and Hughlin in this inning. Teams from Montana, Colorado, Indiana, and California will all be in town for the Firecracker. Gertie looks at strike 1 now, and it's a ball and a strike to the left fielder of the Roughriders. Gertie walked in his first appearance, but then was caught in the middle of a double play to end the inning. 1-1 is called strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes now to Gertie, who was the starting pitcher in Game 1 yesterday and threw over 100 pitches. Cholla's looking for strikeout number 6, and the 0-2 is swung on and missed for strike 3. And that is K, number 6 for Cholas. And 4 out of his last 5 have been fanned. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats. Retires Gertie, and that brings Sam England to the table. England 0 for 1 with a fly out to Weaver in left. Todd Stevens having a quick conference with Cholas on the mound. It looks like that conference has come to an end, and we will play ball against Sam England. Sam England has an empty base path and 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Post 22, hanging on to a 3-0 lead. Here is the first pitch. Swung on, ball's fouled to the right of my press box. Over Shep's Peak, 0-1. Shep's Peak, a nice little suite area. I don't know if it's air conditioned. Maybe they put some air conditioning in there. But if you want a nice view to watch the game and be protected from the elements, right next to our press box is a good start. 0-2 on a swing and a miss from England. On that pitch inside. Or you could just sit in the press box with us. I mean, I think I'm a cool person to hang out with. I think Seth would agree. Seth Harwood, our director of Hardhats-TV, he's pretty cool too. Here is the 0-2 to England. Caught him looking, strike 3. And there's K number 7 for Cholas. That ties the season high. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats. He has struck out 3 in a row and 5 out of his last 6. And that'll bring up Jared Hughlin, the first baseman. Post 22 looking for back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. And here is the first pitch to Hughlin. Too far inside, ball 1. Hughlin grounded into an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play in the top of the 1st. He's 0 for 1. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed on a high fastball. 1-1 now the count. Base path empty for Hughlin with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. A 3-0 Hardhats lead. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed. And Cholas is in the driver's seat, 1-2. He is looking for 4 consecutive strikeouts. It would be number 8. 1-2 pitch. Misses outside. 2-2. That was a good pitch by Cholas. It was a breaking ball, so it messed with the vision of Hughlin. Just a bit outside. Full windup for Cholas. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and that'll do it. That is 4 consecutive strikeouts and 6 out of the last 7 for Zach Cholas. He strikes out the side. 1-2-3. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played exactly half of this afternoon's game. 3.5 innings in the books. Post 22 still has a 3-0 lead. No hits allowed to the Dickinson Roughriders. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the 4th. Holden Jackson, Todd Stevens, then back to the top of the order to Mason Messenger. Scheduled to hit here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 back to the sticks here in the bottom of the fourth. They will kick off the second half of this ball game. Through 3.5 innings out of 7 in regulation, the Hardhats have 3 runs on 5 hits with an error. And the Dickinson Roughriders, no runs, no hits, 2 errors. Zach Cholas is throwing fire right now. He has struck out 8 and walked 2. And now, Jillick is back on the mound to throw to Holden Jackson. He fouls off his first pitch. Jackson, Stevens, back to the top to Messenger, slated to hit here in the bottom of the fourth. Post 22 up 3-0 to the Roughriders. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. 0-1 to Jackson, ripped to third, and it's lined to England. He'll get the throw to first anyway for the formality. I think they already called out on the play, but just to be safe. 1 up, 1 down. And that'll bring up Todd Stevens. I think they ruled that a line out. Because John Whitcraft had a fist up, but we didn't see anything from Yogi Milslegel behind the plate. But he threw it over to first anyway, just to be safe. He does not get 2 outs on the sequence. He just gets 1. And now Sam England over at third has to fix his belt before pitches are thrown to Todd Stevens. Stevens doubled in his first at-bat on a 3-1 pitch. That is his first extra base hit of the season. So 1 out, base path empty for Stevens. He was stranded on third. He didn't come around to score. He shows bunt, drops it down the third baseline, but it's foul. And he's behind 0-1. Stevens is a track athlete, so you know he's got the speed to pull off the bunt single. But it has to stay fair. Hardhats up 3-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. Base path empty and 1 out for Todd Stevens in an 0-1 count against Nathan Jillick. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That almost hit him. Stevens said it clipped him. Yogi Milslegel disagrees. It's ball 1. It's 1-1. Stevens thought it hit his uniform. Here comes the 1-1 to Stevens. Pitch is swung on, hit to third. England gets the stop, bobbles the ball. Throw to first is in time for out number 2. Nice recovery there by England. That could have potentially been an E5. Instead, he was able to get the ball and set his feet to get a good throw off. And he beats out Stevens. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats on offense here in the bottom of the fourth. Still up 3-0. And that will bring us to Mason Messenger, the second baseman. Messenger 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts to second and third. And his first pitch is down and inside for ball 1. If Messenger's retired, 5, 6, and 7 are due up. And I believe Jillick would bat for Berger, so I don't see Berger anywhere else in the field. 1-0 pitch misses outside. It's 2-0 now to Messenger. Jillick took over for Justin Berger after 2 innings. 2-0 pitch is too far inside for Messenger, 3-0. And here is the 3-0 from Jillick to Messenger. Too far, high and inside, ball 4. 2-out walk issued to Messenger. And that will bring us to Matt Hegre. Hegre's 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts to center field. He has a chance to potentially keep this inning going. Here's his first pitch. Runner goes, it's behind him. Throw to second, way off track, and Messenger's going to try and take third. Jones comes in from center, and he'll just get the ball in at second to Kobe Krenz. So that is an E2 that allows Messenger to take a second base. A third error on Dickinson. And now it's a man 90 feet to the left of Hegre with a 1-0 count and 2 outs. And the next pitch is outside. 2-0 to the hard-hat third baseman. A colossal throwing error there from Pavic behind home. 2-0. That's up at the letters. 3-0. Jillick walks back to the mound, a little disappointed in that. Yeah, a tad bit of a fringe pitch, but I think Yogi was right. It looked like it was right at the Rapid City on Hegre's chest. Next pitch misses low for ball 4, and he also draws a 2-out walk. Cooper Bowman comes up with men on the corners here, 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. Bowman a chance to blow the roof off of this one, batting .516 with runners in scoring position, and now we have a conference. Stephen Greenwood, the head coach of the Roughriders, coming out to have a word with both Gillick and his entire infield. Cooper Bowman on the ball game is 1 for 1 with a single, a hit by pitch, 2 stolen bases, and a run score, two runs scored on the game. He has Hegre 90 feet to his right on first with a walk, and he has Messenger 90 feet to his left with a walk, a stolen base, and then he added an extra base on a throwing error to make it 3 errors for the Roughriders in the ball game. The conversations come to an end, and Stephen Greenwood, the head coach, will go back to his dugout. Coach Greenwood earlier graciously was giving me advice for fighting allergies, as mine have really kicked my rear these last 2 days. Much better today, though, so that's good. First pitch to Bowman, runner goes. It's inside for ball 1, throw to second, won't get there in time. So Hegre takes second. Hardhats very aggressive on the base path, and it's a 1-0 count now to Bowman. So Bowman with 2 men in scoring position, batting .516 with runners on either second or third. 1-0 pitch, ball's hit high in the air. Foul territory, first base side in front of the dugout for the Roughriders, and the ball's dropped. Pavic couldn't come up with it, and Bowman gets a key second life. 1 ball, 1 strike is count. That could have ended the inning and stranded 2 men in scoring position. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Hardhats up 3-0 with a chance to add to that advantage. 1-1 the count. And here's the pitch. Low and away, 2-1. 2-1 to Bowman with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Hardhats up 3-0. Men on second and third for Bowman. Hegre on second. Messenger 90 feet to his left on third. Here comes the 2-1 to Bowman. Missed low, ball 3. Bowman's a pitch away from another free pass. And Gillick from the stretch, 3-1. Called strike inside corner. Bowman thought it was ball 4, but Yogi Milslagel called him back. It's a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Gillick sets. Payoff to Bowman. Ball's hit high in the air, but foul. Third base side out of play. Lands just before the grandstand. A lot of fans in the shaded area of the grandstand, as the count remains full here for Bowman. Gillick about to throw his 37th pitch in relief in his second inning of work. Payoff 2 to Bowman. Pitch is turned on high in the air, but it's foul. Left field side, and the count will hold full again. We will see a third payoff pitch come from Gillick to Bowman. If Bowman's retired, Gillick will lead off the top of the 5th in place of Berger, who he replaced as the relief pitcher. Colton Jones, the center fielder, and Landon Amon, the shortstop, would follow. Payoff number 3 to Bowman. Again is turned, but foul. Bowman really trying to pull that ball fair. It would knock in both runs if it's a fair ball, and he's able to register a hit. That .516 batting average with runners in scoring position would skyrocket. Payoff number 4, swung on and missed, strike 3. And Bowman drops the bat in disbelief, as that is the first strikeout all afternoon by Dickinson pitching, and it ends the bottom half of the 4th. No runs, no hits, 1 error charged to the Roughriders. 2 men left on the base path in scoring position. We've played 4 innings of baseball, and Post 22 still has a 3-0 lead over the Roughriders. Zach Cholas comes back on the mound to work the top half of the 5th against Dickinson. He'll face Gillick, Jones, and Amon in that order. We'll be right back in just a few moments on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV with the top of the 5th. Zach Cholis is back onto the mound for his 5th inning of work. Cholis threw 4 innings, only has 55 pitches thrown. 13 in the first, 14 in the second, 16 in the third, 12 in the fourth. Numbers across the board through 4 innings for the Hardhats. 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error in the field. And for the Roughriders, no runs, no hits, and 3 errors defensively. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM and 1340 AM. We have just hit the hour-long mark of today's ball game. Started at 1:02. We're standing at 2:02 right now on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. The Hardhats finishing off a 5-game and 3-day stretch in which 3 of those, including today's finale, have been against the Roughriders. Post 22 swept yesterday's doubleheader against Dickinson, 10-0 and 8-5. And now look to keep that train rolling as the first pitch comes in to Nathaniel Gillick, leading off the top half of the 5th. 0-1 the count to Gillick, who comes in for Justin Berger. Berger finished 0 for 1 with a backwards K. Here comes the 0-1 to Gillick. Pitch is fouled off, first base side. And it's 0-2. Cholis dealing fire. 8 strikeouts on 2 walks. Looking for K number 9. He's struck out 4 in a row. 0-2 pitch. Misses low and inside and skips away. Oh, and Todd Stevens rolled his ankle trying to field the ball. Now Tia Furman, the trainer, might come and have a look at Stevens. He's going to try and walk it off and take a jaunty stroll to the mound. As Coach Torvey and Tia, the trainer, come on out. Stevens just trying to walk it off. I think he turned Tia away, so he should be all right. But he definitely rolled that ankle, trying to field that ball. It's 1-2 now to Gillick. Leading off the top of the 5th, Hardhats up 3-0 against the Roughriders. Cholis looking for K number 9. And the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's lined in the air, but it goes foul, first base side. And the count will hold at 1-2. Cholis has put together a fantastic afternoon of work, looking for that 9th punch-out. Here is the 1-2. Just missed on the breaking ball. Outside, 2-2. I thought he caught the corner and froze Nathaniel Gillick, but Yogi Milslagel behind the plate had a different opinion. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Cholis deals his 2-2. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Right field side. Here comes Caldwell from first, and he makes the catch in foul territory for out number 1. That was a very tough catch as Caldwell was running towards the ball. It pulled back on him. He had to make the catch over his head, almost going backwards, and that'll be out number 1 here in the top of the 5th. So Gillick retired, and that'll bring up Colton Jones, the center fielder. Jones walked in his first plate appearance and was picked off to end the top half of the 2nd. Cholis, first pitch. Missed low and away, ball 1. 1-0 the count from the lefty to the righty and Jones. And the 1-0 from Cholis. Called strike at his knees. Nice fastball, it's 1-1. Ball and a strike the count to Cholis. And here's his 1-1. That misses low and inside, 2-1 now to Jones. Base path is empty for Jones with 1 out in the top of the 5th. Hardhats protecting a 3-0 lead. 2-1 pitch. Swung on. Ball's fouled to the backstop. 2-2. Post 22. Looking for the sweep of the 5 games this weekend on home field. 2-2 to Jones. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And there is K number 9 for Zach Cholis. 2 up, 2 down. Brings us to Landon Amon. Cholis has struck out 6 of his last 9. And first pitch to Landon Amon, a called strike at his knees. It's 0-1. Amon was the 3rd of now 9 strikeouts issued by Cholis. Cholis has yet to strike out any one man twice in this game. Next pitch to Amon breaks too far inside. It's 1-1. That almost clipped Amon. That could have been very dangerous. Would have added a base runner with 2 outs. Cholas looking for back-to-back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. 1-1 pitch, a called strike, a fastball outside corner. And Cholas is looking for the first 10 strikeout game for the Hardhats this season to end the top of the 5th. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Ball's dropped. Stevens fields. Throw to first is over the head of Caldwell. And all the way to second will go Amon. And the ball is fielded by Sumption, and that is a second error on the Hardhats. Another throwing error by Todd Stevens. And Amon is strikeout number 10, but the E2 will advance him to second. The Hardhats could have been out of this one. Instead, Cholas has to see another batter, and that's Colby Krenz. He could have ended that with 70 pitches and 15 thrown in this frame, and the first pitch is high and away for ball 1. 1-0 the count, as now there's a man in scoring position for the second time all game for the Roughriders. Here is the 1-0, and that's upstairs, 2-0 now to Krenz. 2 balls, no strikes to Krenz, who has struck out. He was the 4th of now 10 strikeouts for Cholas. Cholas checks second. 2-0 pitch is off the glove of Stevens. He lost the ball, and advancing to third is Amon. It's a high pitch for ball 3, and now Amon is 90 feet from scoring the first run for Dickinson on the pass ball. 3 balls, no strikes to Krenz. Cholas in jeopardy of throwing his 3rd walk. Now here is the 3-0. Called strike. Right down the middle of Krenz, it's 3-1. Top of the 5th inning. 2 outs, a man on third. Hardhats up 3-0. 3-1 pitch. Low and inside, ball 4. And that is the 3rd walk for Cholas in this game. It'll be men on the corners now with 2 outs. The inning should have ended 2 batters ago, but it didn't. That'll bring up Logan Hoff. The chance to keep it going. Cholas needs this last out here. 20 pitches in this inning for him. He's at 75. Check to first is not in time, and it gets away from Caldwell, and a run's going to come in and score, and Krenz will take second. A 3rd error for the Hardhats. And Dickinson's on the board as Krenz takes second, and Amon scores. And now it's a man on second with 2 outs, and it's 3-1. And it looks like we'll get a pinch runner in for Krenz. That's going to be Bryant Murray. So now here comes Hoff with 2 outs and a man in scoring position. First pitch, low and inside, ball 1. Want to know the count here to Murray. With his team now trailing by 2. Here's the 1-0. High and away, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes the count. Logan Hoff has a man in scoring position. 3-1 now the Hardhats lead. 2-0 from Cholas. Swung on and missed. And now it's 2-1. Wind's picked up a little bit here at the Fitz. If you can hear it on the crowd mic. 2 balls and a strike to Hoff. Cholas just needs this last out. And here's the 2-1. Swung on, ball is hit right to home. Stevens, throw to first. This time it's on track and in time. And that will end the top half of the 5th. Well, here's the crazy thing. Dickinson gets a run on no hits with 2 errors charged to the Hardhats and a man left on second. We've played 4.5 innings of baseball. Zach Cholas has a no-hitter through 5, and post 22, still has a 3-1 lead. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the 5th. Jack Sorensen, Jace Caldwell, and Zach Sumption slated to hit for the Hardhats here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 back to the sticks here in the bottom half of the 5th. And it looks like there is another pitching change. As coming in is Peyton Hansen on the mound in place of Nathaniel Gillick. Gillick ended up going another 2 innings. He allowed 1 hit and 1 run. It was earned. Gillick struck out 1. And he walked 2 and hit a batter. And Gillick did it all on 39 pitches. So now he gives way to Peyton Hansen. So Peyton Hansen now comes in. He will take on 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Sorensen, Caldwell, and Sumption. And his first pitch to Sorensen, it hit him. So Peyton Hansen, just like Nathaniel Gillick, starts off his tenure as the reliever with a hit by pitch. And that's going to bring up Jace Caldwell, who is 2 for 2. He's only seen 2 pitches. Let's see if he goes after the first one here again. He has a single and a double when going after the first pitch today. Check to first. Sorensen's back, so we'll wait on that first pitch. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV here in the bottom of the 5th. 3-1 the Hardhats lead. The big storyline right now, Zach Cholis for post 22, throwing a no-hitter through 5 innings. First pitch to Caldwell, breaking ball inside for a strike. Caldwell decides to wait on the first pitch this time, and he's behind 0-1. Sorensen leads off at first. Hansen's 0-1 pitch is upstairs, 1-1. Be interested to see if Sorensen goes because I haven't seen much velocity here from Hansen. Sorensen taking a pretty decent lead there off of first. 1-1 pitch. Inside, too far. 2-1. 2 balls and a strike now to Caldwell, who's looking for his 3rd hit and 3 at-bats. Singled in his first on the first pitch, doubled on his second in the first pitch. Next pitch, ball's turned on high in the air to left center field. That's dropping for a base hit. It's going for the wall. Caldwell sees extra bases. Sorensen sees a run as he turns around third and comes in to score. An RBI double with no outs here in the bottom of the 5th for Jace Caldwell, and the Hardhats lead is now 4-1. Jace Caldwell's 2nd extra base hit of the day. This one, an RBI double. And now Sumption comes up with a man on second, and still no one out here in the bottom of the 5th. It's a 4-1 Hardhats lead. First run allowed by Hansen, and the first pitch to Sumption's over his head for ball 1. Sumption on the ball game's 1 for 2 with a single and a fly out to center. He now has Caldwell at scoring position. No one out here in the bottom of the 5th. It's a 4-1 Hardhats lead. 1-0 pitch, a called strike. 1-1. Again, we're not seeing too much velocity showcased here by Hansen. Yet to see that that gas pitch, if you will. Here's a 1-1. Called strike to Sumption. It's 1-2. That was a fastball that caught the inside part of the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hansen looks to Caldwell on second. 1-2 to Sumption. Too far inside, and the count evens up at 2-2. Post 22 now with a 4-1 lead. They've scored in all but 2 innings here in the 5 they've played. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's fouled, and it comes just over our press box. And the count will hold even at 2-2. I was ready for that, just in case anybody was wondering. I was ready. You know, if my former partner, Teddy Leipold, could catch a foul ball in this booth, I'm bound to do so as well. 1-2 pitch, it's 2-2 pitch, excuse me, swung on, and it's hitting the gap to left for a base hit. And Caldwell will hang on third, and Sumption will take a single. 2 hits for the Hardhats in this inning, and a hit by pitch as well with a run score. That's going to bring up Alex Weaver, who's looking for his first hit of the day. Weaver is one of 4 players here today that has yet to record a hit. 5 players. He's 0 for 2 with a line out to center and a ground out to second. First pitch, swung on, ball's hit to short. Coming in from short is Amon, and he boots it. And Weaver will be safe, and Caldwell comes in to score. A 4th error of the ball game here for the Roughriders. Sumption will take second, Caldwell in to score, and the Hardhats now have a 5-1 lead. Men on first and second, brings up Holden Jackson looking for his first hit, and he looks at a first pitch strike. 0-1 the count to Jackson, who's 0 for 2 with a fly out to left and a line out to third. Here's the 0-1. Jackson fouls it first base side, and he's behind 0-2. So 4 errors now to Dickinson. 3 for the Hardhats in this game. No balls and 2 strikes. And the 0-2 from Hansen. Swung on, and ball's fouled again. 0-2 as that goes off the roof of the grandstand next to Catch 22. Shameless plug for Post 22 merchandise. Go to Catch 22 to get all of your Post 22 swag. See if they have a radio guy discount the next time I go down there. No balls, 2 strikes here to Jackson. Peyton Hansen looks to first and second. 0-2 to Jackson. Too far inside. It's a double steal. Runners go, and the throw to third's not there. So Sumption now on third, and Weaver will take second. It's a 1-2 count to Jackson, still with no outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Hardhats have played it 2 for a 5-1 lead, and now Jackson has a chance to blow the roof off of this one with 2 men in scoring position. And the next pitch is ripped into left. That's going to drop for a base hit. 1 run's going to come in and score. Weaver will hang on at third. Sumption in to score, and Holden Jackson has an RBI single, and it's now a 6-1 Hardhats lead. Still no one out here in the bottom of the 5th. So Weaver over to third. Jackson triumphantly on first with the ribby single. Todd Stevens now comes up with men on the corners. Still no one out here in the bottom of the 5th. Now a 6-1 Hardhats lead as the team has played it 3 in this frame. First pitch. That's upstairs. Jackson's going to go to second, and now he's caught in the middle of a rundown. Jackson comes back to first, and he's safe. He got very lucky there. It was a delayed steal almost from Jackson, but halfway to second, he stopped. And now a check to first isn't there in time. Stevens steps in. And here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. So there's a strike to Stevens. Jackson leads off a first. Weaver's off a third. Next pitch. That misses low. And it's 2 balls and a strike to Todd Stevens. 2-1 the count to the Hardhat catcher. He had a costly error in the top half of this 5th inning that kept it going and gave Dickinson a run. 2-1 pitch. That's upstairs. 3-1 now to Stevens. Stevens is 1 for 2 on the day with a double and a ground out to third. He has men on the corners here with no one out in the bottom of the 5th. Stevens steps in. Peyton Hansen in relief. Throws the 3-1. Runner goes, and it's low and away for ball 4. So Jackson sprinted to second on the walk. And now Stevens with a walk loads up the bases, and it brings up back to the top of the order to Mason Messenger. Messenger is 0 for 2 with a walk. He's looking for his first hit. 6-1 is the Hardhats lead. Now time is called. And we are back to it. Messenger steps in. First pitch. Low and away, ball 1. Messenger again was batting .268 coming in on the game. Batting .250 with runners in scoring position. He has not had runners in scoring position all day. 1-0 pitch. Ball's hit high in the air to center field. Colton Jones underneath it. Makes the catch. Tagging up from third. Heading home is Weaver. Tagging from second and going to third is Holden Jackson. An RBI sac fly for Mason Messenger. And the Hardhats lead is now 7-1 with men on the corners and 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. So Weaver in to score. Jackson, astute base running over to third. That'll now bring up Matt Hegre, who is 0 for 2 with a walk, looking for his first hit of the ballgame. 7-1 the Hardhats lead. They've played it 4, and he can add further damage. First pitch, runner goes. And that's a ball up high, and the throw to second's cut off just in case. Jackson took off for home. So a stolen base for Stevens puts him on second. 1-0 the count to Hegre, now 2 men in scoring position. Next pitch, ball's hit high in the air to left field. And able to make the catch at short is Amon. He fell down and still made the catch, and coming in to score from third is Holden Jackson. A sac fly RBI to Matt Hegre. And are they calling infield fly rule here? I don't think they are. And the tag up was applied for Jackson, so he is safe. So it is a sac fly RBI to Hegre. 2 down with a man on second. That brings us to Cooper Bowman, as the Hardhats have batted through the order. Bowman looks at a first pitch ball, 1-0. Bowman's 1 for 2 with a single, a hit by pitch, a strikeout, and 2 runs scored. 1-0 pitch. And that missed low and away, 2-0. 2-0 to Bowman. With a man on second and 2 outs now in the bottom of the 5th. The Hardhats have an 8-1 lead. They have plated 5 in this inning. 2-0 pitch, missed low to Bowman, and it's 3-0. Peyton Hansen, a rough first inning of relief as he's given up 5 runs. Another error committed by his Dickinson squad. 3-0, a called strike to Bowman, and it's 3-1. That was right at his belt. Hardhats have batted through the order. If Bowman's not retired, they'll go back to the man that started it in Sorensen. Hansen from the stretch. 3-1, a called strike. And now the count to Bowman comes full. 3-2. Sorensen patiently waiting in the on-deck circle. Payoff pitch to Bowman. High and away, ball 4. And now a 2-out walk keeps the inning going. And back to the man that started it all. Jack Sorensen with men on first and second and 2 outs. Here's how the inning's gone. Sorensen hit by pitch, scored. Caldwell, RBI double, scored. Sumption, single, scored. Weaver reached on an error, scored. Holden Jackson, RBI single, scored. Todd Stevens walked. Mason Messenger, sac fly RBI. Matt Hegre, sac fly RBI. Bowman, a walk. Sorensen looks at strike 1. Behind 0-1 with men on first and second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. An 8-1 Hardhats lead. Next pitch is pushed high in the air to short right, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Rounding third and coming in to score with a play at plate, not in time, and over to third is Bowman. He is safe. Stevens comes all the way around to score as Bowman's into third, and the Hardhats lead is now 9-1 with the ribby single to Jack Sorensen. Jace Caldwell comes in. He's batting 1,000 today. A pair of doubles, a single, a run scored, and a ribby. He has men on the corners with 2 outs. Second time up this inning. First pitch from Hansen. Way outside, ball 1. Caldwell, every hit has been to the left side of the outfield. His single was down the line. His doubles both hit the gap. You'd think Colton Jones at center would move over, but he is still right in dead center. Here comes the 1-0. Over his head, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes to Caldwell. Here's a 2-0 to Caldwell. That's up high again, ball 3. 3-0 to Jace Caldwell with men on either side of him. First and third. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. If the Hardhats score 2 more runs in this inning, the game's over. Here's the 3-0. Low and away, ball 4. And now Caldwell walks. Here's the crazy thing of this. Zach Cholas has a no-hitter going on right now. Zach Sumption comes up. If he gets an RBI hit that knocks in 2, Zach Cholas will have his no-hitter in 5 innings. An awkward way to finish off with a no-hitter, but still all the same in the scorebook. First pitch to Sumption. Low and away, ball 1. 1-0 the count to the Hardhats center fielder, who's 2 for 3 with a pair of singles and a run scored. Bowman on third, Sorensen on second, Caldwell on first. 1-0 pitch, high and inside, it's 2-0. Alex Weaver on deck if we get that far in the inning. And now Pavic, the catcher, coming to have a quick word with Hansen on the mound. Been a rough go for Hansen, who came in relief in this inning. He's hit a batter. He's had an error go against him. He's had 3 walks. And he's allowed 4 hits. 2 balls, no strikes to Sumption. Pitch is swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to the foul line, first base. Hansen off the mound, able to make the catch, and he puts an end to the inning. Well, the Hardhats deal more damage in that frame. They put up a 6 spot on the power of 4 hits with an error charged to the Roughriders, and the bases left loaded. We have played 5 innings of baseball. And Post 22 now has a 9-1 lead over the Dickinson Roughriders. Zach Cholas back on the mound. He has something special brewing, folks. We'll recap that for you and more in just a few moments when we return on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage, Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Thanks to a 6-run bottom half of the 5th, Post 22 has a 9-1 lead now over the Dickinson Roughriders. Zach Cholas is back on the mound. He's been sensational. 10 strikeouts, 3 walks. He hasn't had much help from his teammates on a couple of errors here and there, particularly at the catcher position as well. But here are the stat lines, and this is why this is important. The Hardhats have 9 runs on 9 hits with 3 errors in the field. And the Roughriders have a run on 0 hits and 4 errors defensively. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Post 22, a 9-1 lead over the Dickinson Roughriders, looking for 5 wins in a row in their 5-game and 3-day weekend. And a 3-game sweep of the Dickinson Roughriders, who for a 2nd year in a row will play host to the Central Plains Regional Tournament. So after this weekend, the only other way that these 2 teams can meet is if the Hardhats win the state championship and make it to Dickinson. Top of the order due up for the Roughriders, Joey Pavic, Isaac Gertie, Sam England, barring substitutions. First pitch to Pavic, missed low and away. It's 1-0. Zach Cholas has something special going on here at the ballpark, folks. Don't leave your radios or your computer. 1-0 pitch, a called strike at the outside corner. It's 1-1 now to Pavic. Pavic 0 for 2. Reached on an error that came on a strikeout. And he's also struck out another time. Next pitch is swung on, hit to second. Messenger, the scoop, throw to first in time for out number 1. Nice play by Messenger on a slow roller there to second. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats. Now brings us to Isaac Gertie, the left fielder who has walked and struck out. Zach Cholas has 10 strikeouts in this game, but the crazy part about that is that 2 of them have not counted for outs. Both of them had an error involved. That did not help the Hardhats secure an out. Here comes the first pitch to Gertie, and that misses low for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Gertie with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Base path is empty. Hardhats with a 9-1 lead. That's another weird thing about what Cholas has going on here. Next pitch swung on and missed. 1-1. Is that there has been a run scored. Not often you see that in what Cholas has brewing here. Ball and a strike the count. Gertie fouls off his next pitch. He's behind 1-2. Cholas looking for that 11th strikeout. This is a season high for any hard-hat pitcher this season. 1-2, quick pitch, swung on, ball's pushed to first. Caldwell with the stop. He says, I've got this one, guys, and touches the bag for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats here in the top of the 6th. That brings us to Sam England. England's 0 for 2 with a fly out to left and a backwards K in the book. He was the 7th of 10 Zach Cholas strikeouts. Base path empty for England. 2 outs, top of the 6th, a 9-1 Hardhats lead. Cholas, first pitch, outside. Ball 1. 1-0 the count to Zach Cholas. From Zach Cholas, excuse me, to Sam England. Here comes the 1-0 from Cholas. Swung on and missed. 1-1. Post 22, a 9-1 lead. 9 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors. And for the Roughriders, a run, no hits, 4 errors. 1-1, fouled off by England. It's a ball and 2 strikes. And Cholas is a pitch away from strikeout number 11, and it would come on his 90th pitch of the start. Here comes the 1-2 from Cholas, is upstairs, 2-2. Cholas trying a quick pitch maneuver. Didn't work the last couple of times. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Cholas deals. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air, foul territory, and that'll go into the Dickinson bullpen. Count holds at 2-2. Cholas definitely has his money's worth in this start, about to throw pitch number 92. Looking for his 11th strikeout. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes to England. And it missed low, and the count goes full to 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Cholas trying to avoid issuing a 4th walk. Here comes the payoff to England. Caught him looking, strike 3. And there is strikeout number 11 for Zach Cholas. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Hardhats. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. Zach Cholas has a no-hitter through 6 innings of baseball, and post 22 still has a 9-1 lead. If the Hardhats score twice in the bottom half of the 6th, the game is over. And Zach Cholas will see his hard work pay off and a no-hit win. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 6th and the bottom third of the order due up for the Hardhats here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Peyton Hansen back on the mound for his 2nd inning of relief. He had quite the number done on him in his 1st inning of relief. 40 pitches. Cholos got out of that top of the 6th with 12 pitches. He has a no-hitter through 6. Post 22 has a 9-1 lead coming into the bottom half of the 6th. If they score 2 runs, the game's over. Peyton Hansen, first pitch to Weaver. Misses low for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Weaver, who's 0 for 3. Line out to center, ground out to second, reached on an error to the shortstop, stole a base, and came around to score. Here comes the 1-0. Weaver hits it right back up the middle. Hansen fields it on the mound, tossed to first in time. 1 away. Holden Jackson now comes up, the right fielder. Jackson's 1 for 3 with a ribby single. Fly out to left and a line out to third. Post 22, a 9-1 lead. They get 2 runs in this inning. The game's over, and Cholos gets a no-hitter. First pitch. And Jackson fouls it off. It's 0-1. If not, Cholos has to pitch the top of the 7th and earn it the old-fashioned way. Jackson takes a couple of swings. And the next pitch swung on, ball's hit high in the air, right towards the mound. Hansen underneath it, makes the catch for out number 2. It's been the Peyton Hansen show here in the bottom of the 6th. As post 22 now has 2 outs on 2 men up. That'll bring up Todd Stevens, potentially the final offensive out for the Hardhats. First pitch to Stevens. Called strike. Breaking ball inside. It's 0-1. Stevens 1 for 2 on the ball game. A double, a ground out to third, a walk, a stolen base, and a run scored. Here comes the 0-1 from Hansen. That ball's up high. 1-1. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Hardhats have a 9-1 lead. If they don't score 2, they have to go to the top of the 7th. Next pitch, low and away for ball 2 to Stevens. 2-1. If they score 2, ball game's over. If they don't, Zach Cholos will hopefully come out on the mound to finish what he started and get this no-hitter locked down. Here comes the 2-1 to Stevens. Pitch is swung on, hit high in the air, but foul. A couple rows in front of us behind home plate, and the count evens up at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. And now here comes the 2-2 to Stevens. Missed low and away, and the count will go full. And now here's the payoff to Stevens. And that hit him right in the bucket. That's the second batter that Peyton Hansen's hit in relief. This one comes with 2 outs, keeps the inning going. And now we go back to the top of the order to Mason Messenger. Messenger 0 for 2 with a walk, a stolen base, and a sac fly RBI. Messenger is the walk-off run. The Hardhats need 2 to invoke the 10-run rule and give Zach Cholos his no-hitter without having to go on the mound in the top of the 7th. Todd Stevens leads off at first. First pitch to Messenger, low and away. Ball 1. One to Messenger. 9-1 the Hardhats lead with a man on first. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. 1-0 pitch. Low and away. 2-0. Zach Cholos, 11 strikeouts, 3 walks. He has thrown 94 pitches. He has been fantastic. 2 balls, no strikes. Hansen from the stretch to Messenger. 2-0, swung on, balls hit high in the air. To shallow right, Logan Hoff underneath it, and he makes the catch running forward, and that will end the bottom half of the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left on first. Zach Cholos, 3 outs away from a no-hitter. He will take on the heart of the order. Hughlin, Hansen, and Jones. We'll be right back in just a few moments, folks, with the top half of the 7th. Hardhats in the driver's seat 9-1 here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 has a 9-1 lead, 3 outs away from 5 wins in a row and a sweep of the Dickinson Roughriders in 3 games dating back to last night. Zach Cholis back on the mound. He is 3 outs away from something very special at his age and at his skill level of baseball. Here's why. Numbers across the board for the Hardhats: 9 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors, and for the Roughriders, a run, no hits, 4 errors. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Cholis, his first pitch is to Jaron Hughlin, and it swung on and missed. 0-1. Cholis with 11 strikeouts and 3 walks going into his final inning of work. 0-1 against Hughlin, and the pitch is swung on and missed on a breaking ball inside. 0-2. Hughlin grounded into an inning-ending double play in the top of the first and struck out to end the top of the fourth. Cholis in the driver's seat, 0-2 to Hughlin. And here is the pitch. Missed low, 1-2. Zach Cholis has had a fantastic afternoon and is looking for the exclamation point. He takes his time on the mound. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ripped foul. What a catch! Oh, man, that was almost caught by the fan of the grandstand. Right off his hands. Oh, my goodness. If he held on to that, you'd have to call up SportsCenter. Good Lord. And the fans salute him. Back to the hard hat action. 1-2. Misses low. 2 balls, 2 strikes now from Cholis to Hughlin. My goodness, that fan was oh so close to catching that scorcher from Hughlin. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cholis looking for a dozen Ks. 2-2 pitch. Missed outside, and the count goes full at 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch to Hughlin. 100 pitches now for Cholis. Here's the payoff. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to right. Sumption's on the run, and the ball's over his head, and it goes all the way to the wall. And on to second with a leadoff double to start off the 7th is Jaron Hughlin. And Zach Cholis loses the no-hitter. Unfortunate for Zach Cholis, who went 6+ innings without allowing a hit. And now taking over for Hughlin is number 8, Nick Deschamps, on the base path. Here comes Nathan Gillick. And Gillick's first pitch. Swung on, ball is hit right to Cholis off the mound. Cholis sets, throw to first, is off track. And it goes off the glove of Caldwell, and in to score comes Deschamps. And the throw to second is off track. And E1 allows Gillick to take first and second. And Deschamps comes in to score. No outs with a man on second, and now Coach Dorvey's coming out to talk to Cholis. And after 102 pitches, I think this might be it. What an afternoon this was for Zach Cholis, who had a no-hitter coming into this inning, was 3 outs away. Then there was a double hit by Huglin. Deschamps took over on the base path. And then Gillick reached on an error. 4 now for the Hardhats. And the conference on the mound has ended. Cholis is going to stay on the mound. They are not pulling him just yet on 102 pitches. Here comes Colton Jones. Dawson Dossinger, pinch hitters on deck. Hardhats now with a 9-2 lead. And here's the first pitch. Missed low, ball 1. Nice block from Stevens. 1-0 the count here to Jones, who's 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. One 0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Ball and a strike the count. Cholis will come from the stretch. On second is Gillick. And that pitch is high and away. And it'll be 2-1. Gillick leads off second. 2 balls and a strike from Cholis to Jones. And the next pitch misses high and away. It's 3-1. 3-1 to Cholis, trying to go the distance here. Three-one pitch. Called strike. Now the count goes full to Jones. Cholis a pitch away from strikeout number 12. To second. Payoff pitch. Swung on. Ball's foul to the backstop. And the count will hold full. 108 pitches for Cholis now in this start. Soon to be 109. Payoff pitch number 2. Low, ball 4. And Jones walks. 4th walk of the game for Cholis, and it looks like that will be the end of what has been a fantastic start. And now Dawson Dossinger will take over for Landon Amon in the batting order. And Zach Cholis comes off the mound to raucous applause. What a fantastic afternoon he put together. 6+ innings. He allowed 1 hit, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 4. He struck out 11 on 109 pitches. Unbelievable. And now Jack Sorensen's on the mound. Jack Sorensen now comes on to relieve Zach Cholis. Sorensen last pitched on Wednesday night against Miles City. And he had a bit of a rough go in that relief appearance. He comes in to this appearance for the Hardhats for his 7th appearance of the year, all of them in relief. He has a 2-2 record and is 1 for 1 in save opportunities in 11 1/3 innings of work. 3.09 ERA with 11 strikeouts to 9 walks. He's allowed 5 hits, 10 runs on those 5 hits, and only 5 of them are earned. So to the credit of Jack, he has not had a lot of help either when relieving. And so now, here comes Sorensen to take on Dawson Dossinger. First pitch. Misses low, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Pitch is swung on, hit right up the middle. Bowman the stop to second for one. Messenger to first for two, and he got it. 6-4-3 double play that advances Gillick over to third. 2 quick outs for the Hardhats on 2 pitches from Sorensen. And now we go to Bryant Murray, who came in to pinch run for Kobe Krenz. Krenz finished 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Murray comes in for his first appearance. 2 outs and a man 90 feet to his left. First pitch, low and away. It gets away from Stevens, and a run's going to come in to score. And it'll be 9-3 on the wild pitch. Hardhats still in the driver's seat, having allowed 2 runs in this inning. 1-0 the count to Murray, and now the base path is empty. And that next pitch is fouled. It's 1-1. So you can change Cholis' stat line to 3 runs allowed, but only 2 of them earned. Here's a 1-1. That missed low. 2 balls and a strike to Murray. 2-1 count. Hardhats an out away from sweeping the weekend. 5-0. 2-0 misses low. It's 3-0. 3 balls and a strike. Sorensen from the stretch, 3-1. Outside, ball 4. Sorensen issues his first walk in relief. 2 out walk, and now Peyton Hansen coming into the batting order for Logan Hoff. Hoff went 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. Hansen comes in, the relief pitcher. First pitch, called strike, inside at his knees, 0-1. Hansen yesterday played first and went 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a walk, and a run scored in Game 1. He did not play in Game 2. Next pitch is hit right off the glove of Sorensen. Bowman to second, gets the easy out, and that's going to end the ball game on a 6-4 fielder's choice. 2 runs scored on a hit with an error charge to the Hardhats. 1 left on. And that is the ball game. 6.5 innings in the books, and Post 22 has won all 5 games this weekend. They take a 9-3 win. All the credit in the world to Zach Cholis in a game that went just shy of 2 hours. It went 1 hour and 52 minutes. Cholis gets a big win for the Hardhats. And for him on the season, he now goes to 2-1. A 1-hit performance for Cholis. All 3 runs do go to him. Only 2 of them are earned. A season high 11 strikeouts to 4 walks. He brought a no-hitter into the final inning, and unfortunately could not get the special sequence. But all the same, he gets the win. So Post 22 takes the win in 5 in a row. 9-3 over Dickinson. Folks, will take a step aside. When we come back, we'll recap everything you need to know after this Fox News 3-minute here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hard Hats Baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. No disasters for the Hard Hats here today. If anything, they had something very special brewing the entirety of this afternoon. Post 22 gets the win 9-3 over at the Dickinson Roughriders to sweep the entire weekend and their three-game set against this year's Central Plains Regional Tournament hosts. Once again, thanks so much for joining us for another glorious afternoon of Post 22 Hard Hats Baseball, folks. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. The Hard Hats take the win over Dickinson thanks to some timely offense late in the ball game and the stellar pitching of Zach Cholas. Cholas came through the first 6 innings of the ball game without allowing a hit. He did allow a run, though. It was very awkward that he had a run allowed on no hits. But then the first man he faced in the top of the 7th, and Jaron Hughlin nailed a double over the head of Holden Jackson in right field, and that ended up ultimately costing him of a very, very special afternoon. The Hard Hats rode his fantastic pitching with 11 strikeouts up to the 6th inning, to the tune of 9 runs on 9 hits with 4 errors in the field. The Hard Hats got off to a 2-0 lead in the first inning thanks to a 2-out single from Cooper Bowman to keep the inning going. Jack Sorensen reached on an error, and it scored Bowman from second after he had stolen second to put himself in scoring position. After that, Jace Caldwell came around, and on an error from the catcher, trying to get Caldwell going to third, Sorensen came around to score, and that put the Hard Hats up 2-0. They'd add another run in the bottom half of the third as Cooper Bowman led off getting hit by a pitch. He made his way on a stolen base and a pass ball all the way to third, and Jack Sorensen hit a sac fly RBI to knock him in to give the Hard Hats the 3-rip advantage. Then we went to the monster bottom half of the 5th inning, and the first 6 gentlemen for the Hard Hats to come up to the plate all reached and all came around. The Hard Hats actually batted 12 men in that inning, starting off with Jack Sorensen getting hit by a pitch. Then Jace Caldwell hit an RBI double, scored on an error. Sumption singled, stole all the way to third, came around to score. Weaver reached on an error, came around to score, also stealing a base. Holden Jackson hit an RBI single and came around. Todd Stevens walked, stole a base and came around. Sac fly RBIs for Mason Messenger and Matt Hegry. Bowman walked, and then Jack Sorensen hit an RBI single to knock in the 6th run of the frame. Hard Hats ended up running away with it. They had a 9-1 lead at that point. And then we get to the 7th, and Cholas again, on just shy of 100 pitches, had something very special brewing for him. Unfortunately, could not come through with the no-hitter as he surrendered a double, and then an error allowed Nathan Gillick to reach and knock in Nick Deschamps, who pinch ran for Hughlin. Post 22 ended up taking a 9-3 lead into the remainder of the ball game. Jack Sorensen came in to close it out, and he got the job done on 8 pitches, including inducing a 6-4-3 double play, and then getting a 6-4 fielder's choice to Peyton Hansen, pinch hitting for Logan Hoff, and that was all she wrote. Game today took an hour and 52 minutes. Post 22 ended up getting the win by a final score of 9-3. Final numbers across the board for Post 22: 9 runs on 9 hits with 4 errors in the field, and for the Dickinson Roughriders, 3 runs on a hit with 4 errors. Again, Zach Cholas, 11 strikeouts with 4 walks in 6+ innings of work, allowed 3 runs on a hit. Sensational this afternoon. He improved to 2-1 on the season. Folks, that'll do it for us, and that'll do it for our matchups against Dickinson, and you have to hope that the Hard Hats and the Rough Riders meet again in August, because if so, that means the Hard Hats won their 42nd state championship, and they will play them in the Central Plains Regional as Dickinson is in its final year of hosting in its 2-year stint. Thanks again so much for joining us all weekend, folks. This was another very busy weekend of baseball with 5 games in 3 days, including 2 doubleheaders on Friday and Saturday, but the Hard Hats won all 5 games, and they will now shift their attention to Spearfish on Tuesday night, a full 9-inning game to take place at 7 o'clock. After that, we will hopefully have the Veterans Classic scheduled for you. That tournament will start on Thursday night as the Hard Hats will play host to the Veterans Classic once again. It's a big tournament action to come from it. Thanks again so much, folks, for all of us with the Hard Hats organization, from General Manager Wayne Sullivan back down to the head coach Kelvin Torvey and company, and to our good friends at ESPN and Halgo Broadcasting, Chris Halgo and Ian Rambo. This is Mark Benetti saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon. We'll see you Tuesday night against Spearfish here at the